Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Open Mic Night live at the ZoomBarDC. We've got a great show for you tonight. We've got Jeremy Schuhmann, Steve Woolwine, Joseph Stegner, and more. So sit back, relax, and have a great time. And Jeremy's going to kick us off. So take it away, Jeremy.
Okay. I was just telling Marie-Louise that I recently got back from going to a summer camp for adults, a band camp kind of a thing that happens down in Elkins, West Virginia. And it's called Augusta Heritage Festival. And this one was classic country and swing. So I'm going to do a bit of classic country for you. And I can't remember if I've done this song for you. I did it on one of the open mics. But this is one that was recorded by both Dean Martin and Merle Haggard. It's probably the only song that was recorded by both Dean Martin and Merle Haggard. And it's country music is kind of an acquired taste, so I'll tell you a little bit about this song. This is a song that was based on a TV advertising campaign for Swiss Colony wine. Okay, and some of you might be old enough to remember it, but Swiss Colony had this character that came on at the end of each commercial who had little glasses and a mustache, and he said, "That little old winemaker me." So this one's called "That Little Old Wine Drinker Me," I think. For rain in California, so the grapes will grow and they can make more wine. And I'm sitting in a honky in Chicago with a broken heart and a woman on my mind. I match the man behind the bar for the jukebox, and the music takes me back to Tennessee. And if they ask who's the man in the corner crying, I say, little old wine drinker me. Cause my baby left for Florida on the train. I thought I'd get a job and just forget her, but in Chicago a broken heart still feels the same. I matched the man behind the bar for the jukebox, and the music takes me back to Tennessee. And if they ask who's the man in the corner crying, I say, little old wine drinker me. Yes, if they ask who's the man in the corner
That is a riot.
Fun song.
I think people don't realize that, country music has a lot of humor in it, really. There's a lot of time they're kind of laughing at themselves a little bit.
I guess so.
So here's one that is not a real classic. In other words, it's not that old, but it was written by somebody who was trying to emulate classic country, and it mentions a couple of classic country singers in it. Okay, so you need to. Sometimes it's a little bit of a inside joke, and you need a little bit of background information. So some of you might not know that the song that I'm sure you probably heard it by Ray Charles. It's crying time. It's crying time again. Anyway, that was written by Buck Owens, and it was a hit by Buck Owens before it was a hit by Ray Charles. And this one also mentions Hank, and Hank in country music means Hank Williams, who was the superstar of all, like the Elvis of country music. And so this one, oftentimes in country music, you'll take a cliche, the title or the hook will be some kind of a cliche, but you will like change one word in it, to make it kind of a play on word. So this one's called "The Buck Starts Here." So, let's see. I never knew this place had so much empty space until tonight when you walked right out that door. So I walked to our bedside, pulled out that old 45 that lay for years behind our chest of drawers. First it looked too worn to play, the label all but washed away, and then I saw the name of my old friend. 30 years and a scratch or two, but when the needle hit the groove, I knew that it was crying time again. Hank sure to follow, turn him up loud and clear. He's singing my sorrow, let the sad songs roll on through this house filled with tears, where the good times are gone. The buck starts here. Neighbors in the house next door must think I'm tearing up the floor. It's 4 a.m. and the lights are still burning bright. This occasion's no big deal, it's just some boys from Bakersfield that came around to help me through the night. The buck starts here, with Hank sure to follow, turn him up loud and clear. He's singing my song, let the sad songs roll on through this house filled with tears, where the good times are gone. The buck starts here, where the good times are gone.
Wild. So who's from
Hey,
Bakersfield?
Jeremy.
Who's from Bakersfield?
Who's?
Who from Bakersfield? That's California.
Bakersfield was where Buck Owens, that's the Buck Owens sound was centered in Bakersfield, California. It was kind of like a,
Okay.
it was a competing sound to the Nashville sound. There was a lot of, Okies that ended up in California and brought the country music to California. And Merle Haggard was one of them, actually. And Buck Owens was really the main guy when it came to the Bakersfield sound.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I hope you can play a couple more later, if possible.
I'll hang around. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Steve, you want to go next?
Righty. I'm a whole lot less prepared, but I'm going to go anyway. All righty. Twas in another lifetime, one of toil and blood. Blackness was a virtue, the road was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. You come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Not a word was spoke between us, there was no risk involved. Everything up to that point had been left unresolved. Try imagining a place where it's always safe and warm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Burned out from exhaustion, buried in the hail, poisoned in the bushes, blown out on the trail. Hunted like a crocodile, ravaged in the corn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Suddenly I turned around and she was standing there with silver bracelets on her wrist and flowers in her hair. She walked up to me so gracefully I took my crown of thorns. And come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Deputy walks on hard nails, and the preacher rides a mount. And nothing really matters much, and doom alone accounts. The one-eyed undertaker, he blows a feudal horn. And come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Little hilltop village that gambled for my clothes, a bargain for salvation, they gave me lethal dose. I offered up my innocence, got repaid with scorn. And come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. there's a wall between us, and something there's been lost. I took too much for granted, got my signals crossed. Just to think that it all began on an uneventful morn. And come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks a razor's edge, and someday I'll make it mine. If I could only turn back the clock to when God and her were born. And come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
Hey, Steve! That was beautiful.
I hadn't done this one in a while, so I lost it there for a minute.
No problem.
I've got a frog coming up here. Bear with me a second. I ain't done this in a while either, so just keep making it harder. I knew a man, Bojangles, he danced for you. He worn out shoes, silver hair and ragged shirt and baggy pants. The old soft shoe. You jumped so high, jumped so high. Then he lightly touched down. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was down and out. Looked at me to be the eyes of age. He spoke right out. He talked of life, talked of life. He laughed and clicked his heels and stepped. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He said his name, Bojangles, then he danced a lick across the cell. Grabbed his pants for a better stance, and he jumped so high. And he clicked his heels. He let go a laugh, let go a laugh. Shook back his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. You dance for those at minstrel shows and county fairs throughout the South. spoke with tears of 15 years, how his dog and he traveled about. His dog up and died, up and died. After 20 years, he still grieves. He said, I dance now in every chance in honky-tonks for drinks and tips. But most of the time I spend behind these county bars, he said, 'cause I drinks a bit. He shook his head, and heard someone ask him, please. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance.
Woo! Hey, Steve.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Love that song.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, you did a beautiful job on that. It just kind of made me teary. And I've
Yeah.
heard it. I've heard it a bunch, but you just did a beautiful job. It
Thank
was
you.
slower. Yeah, it was nice. Thank you.
Yeah, that really took me back.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, made me cry too. Ah, sigh.
Yeah.
I was actually going to Sandy Hook Elementary when my Uncle Pete would play that song. He'd bring out his guitar, and whenever there'd be like a family get together, he'd play it. And I didn't think it was the best song at the time, but man, every time I hear it though, it brings me right back to Sandy Hook. Just
Wow.
instantly brings
Yeah.
me back to my uncle. So that was nice. Thank you.
Joseph, you want to go next?
I
There's
do.
nothing sadder than having your dog die. I say that.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's kind of hard to sing that when I was going through that, and I was like, oh, that's really sad.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Animals are hard to lose,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I wanted to redo one that I did on Father's Day.
Mhm.
I'm assuming it's my time now. Marie-Louise.
Yes, it's your turn. Yes, go.
This past Thursday, I returned to the scene of that head-on collision on May 30th. It's been eating me and haunting me. I wanted to investigate and look at the skid marks and just figure out, how did those cars collide and how did I not see the Tesla? And spent about an hour just absorbing it all, the most scenic and beautiful of places. It's such a terrible tragedy. But a piece of the bumper material that was in the road, including this, that alerted me that even though there were no cars visible, that something was amiss. It was still there, and I took it. This is a piece of Tilly. That's what the driver of the car, of the Tesla, named his car, Tilly. A friend of his reached out to me to let me know that she cried and was thankful that I was there, and put my hands on his forehead and called him brother and said I was sorry. I didn't know he was underwater. But it was there that she told me he made a lot of people happy. And when I read that poem that I wrote for his father, and I read it on Father's Day, I was a little confused, like, am I reading it to the son or to the father? And I called him Patrick, and I wasn't reading it to the son. I was supposed to read it just for the father. So I wanted to redo that one as my starter, and then I'll get into my next one. So again, for Patricio Cabrera Jr., for his father, Patricio. Oh, Patricio, for the father and the son, whom destiny brought me to greet, of all the souls within this region, at that place in the driver's seat, Here we are now, you and I, for a new journey that's begun. An unexpected change of direction in memory of your son. Oh, fellow father, my eyes are wet as I write for you this rhyme. Our sons are similar in age, and nothing exceeds the value of time. Oh, my sacred brother, I do not know why I was blind, why I was so clueless in the way things would unwind. I swear to you, my brother, fellow form upon this sphere, I would have given my own life if I knew your son were near. In effort to retrieve him from the reaper whom I loathe, into that dark lagoon, I would have instantly, willfully dove. So that one was for Patricio, and this is Tilly, piece of Tilly right now across my chest. And life, it's some of it's beyond our control, and I don't think there's any of us who haven't at some point had poor judgment or made an error behind the wheel. It could have been fatal, but it wasn't. So when it does so happen that things connect and it becomes the worst of things, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, no matter what, no matter who crossed the lines. It's a tragedy for everybody. With that said, I'm going to go on to my next piece. And my next piece was written in response to current events regarding the song by Jason Aldean, Try This in a Small Town. I hadn't heard the song, but a friend of mine from Newtown, kind man, good man, loving man, like just cuddly puppy, posted something. If you don't think that he's just despicable, and just unfriend me now. And then, okay, this is the 10th time I've seen his name in a newsfeed today. I got to find out what this is all about. So I go on YouTube and check it out. Check out the song. It's a freaking country song. It's a typical country song, like any country song before. And there is a difference between ignorance and malice. There is a difference between evil and stupidity. One does not necessarily imply the other. And everybody has some kind of nostalgia for their hometown. Everybody wants to feel proud of their roots. Everybody wants to feel like, they've got a base of stock and root and foundation where they wouldn't let bad things happen. But then that can be ignorance, because as any paramedic can attest, bad things happen in small towns too. But it's a density issue. And when you have more people enclosed in a smaller space, more things are going to happen. More of those emotions are going to interact. And it's just purely a density thing. And even if there's insensitivity and maybe even stupidity in the video to choose what he chose, and even if he's ignorant in some things, I have tailgated across this country. I've hitchhiked this country, and I sat crying this morning thinking all the places I've been, of all this I've seen, all the jobs I've had, all the people I've known, which I can attest to you. There are a few people who have probably had more jobs and more occupations than I have in my travelings, and I'm not exaggerating. And then I'm crying, how is it that people can turn against each other so easy? Fellow Americans, for a country song. We are so fragile and so volatile that some young kids doing their best to try to represent life and their art of being disgusted with what they don't like and may not understand. It's not the same thing as they're like willfully trying to divide this country, but that is what is happening because we are so fragile right now. So I thought of conception. I thought of a sperm and an egg. I thought of how 1 million sperm are released and one of them gets into that egg. And I thought about evil in the heart. And I thought about what it takes to get somebody to change, to be from a good person, a good, loving person, kind to their fellow human being. What can make them change to suddenly become what they claim to hate, to suddenly become the opposite of what they would expect from others, the opposite of who they would otherwise be. And I thought of how, just like a sperm tries to get into an egg, So the devil, by any name your religion may call that force of evil, that force of influence, that force of don't do what you ought, but do something else. It's kind of like the same thing as all those sperm release. If one doesn't work, it tries another excuse and another excuse and another excuse. You don't like where someone's born. You don't like what they look like. You don't like how they sound. You don't like where they're from. You don't like their job. You don't like who their friends are. You don't like what they did. Always an excuse, but just like a million sperm, there's a million excuses why people can have a loving heart that will suddenly change and harden and become cold and callous. So I wrote this: like sperm to an egg, so are lies to the head. Ignorance is not malice, and stupidity is not evil. To get us turning against each other, false narratives will weasel. From the embryo of deception, conceived upon a lie, or orchestrated selection of facts, whereby the malintent prize, what is born is willing to do those things that love cannot comprehend, in witness to the abuse of forcing humanity's end. Almost right is always wrong if the standard is what's true, yet almost right is often sufficient to spawn an anger anew. Once the falsehood is accepted, the ears become as deaf, because the mind has been infected, processing what a lie left. Instead of what is true, living in real time, imagination takes control, continuing the grime. Just like a form of blindness that makes the eyes unable to see, the busy mind can be as polluting to obscure reality. How can a heart be converted to hate if it has always been taught that's wrong? Do things like corrupt the intent of lyrics in a song, or why an athlete kneels, or what a protester means, or what a person feels, or what is really seen. It takes such subtle mutations to get the ball moving along, to get the masses convinced they should be part of what is wrong. Think it not a little thing when accuracy is not a friend, when comfort is found in falsehood, in the entertainment of pretend. I am not referring to comedy, which can make mastery of what is true, with the juxtaposition of paradox among the myriad of things we do. I am referring to the imprisonment of what becomes from what is not true, when absence of love, respect, or goodwill is the fuel for what we do. Try that in a small town is no different than Easy E calling our cards if we wander onto turf, thinking we're tough and hard. Since when has the standard for artists and songs been to be as the mouth of God, so much so that mere immaturity is confused for malice, deserving the rod? I don't know, but I like that song. There
Yay,
you go.
Joseph! That was great. They were both beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Like sperm to an egg, so are lies to the head, was the name of that one.
Yay! Thank you. Jeremy, do you want to do two more?
Oh, well, let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
The second song you did before got a little distorted for some reason.
Yeah, I found out after I was going through the wrong audio interface on my PC. It wasn't even using this mic, I don't think. Anyway, I think I solved that problem, so it's going to sound different than it did last time. I don't know if it'll be better. I'll do a summer song, okay? This is written by somebody from Canada. I haven't heard that song that you were talking about, but it might be. I think there's the temptation when you're writing songs in in country music, and all kinds of music, I guess, but it seems like country music, it happens quite a bit to do what I refer to as political pandering, because when you write a song that appeals to, some 30% of the population or something, you're guaranteed to make some money on that song, and whether it's a good song or not. And I don't know if that's an example of I don't know if that song is what you're talking about, but yeah, I'm not going to do any political songs at all. Okay, I'm going to stay away from that. Let's see, so this one's about summer, and it's about gambling, and never hit 17 when you play against the dealer. You know that the odds don't ride with you, and never leave your woman alone with friends around to steal her. She'll be gambled and gone like summer wages. So we'll keep her rolling on till we get to Vancouver. The girl that I love is living there. It's been 6 long months and more since I've seen her. Time's been gambled and gone like summer wages. In all the beer parlors all down along Yonge Street, the dreams of the season get all spilled out on the floor, and the big stands of timber waiting for the falling, while the hookers stand there watchfully waiting by the door. So I'll work on the towboats in my slippery city shoes, like I swore I'd never do again. Through the gray fog-bound straits where the cedars stand a-watching, I'll be gambled and gone like summer wages. In all the beer parlors all down along Yonge Street, the dreams of the season get all spilled out on the floor, and the big stands of timber waiting for the falling, while the hookers stand there watchfully waiting by the door. Never hit 17 when you play against the dealer. You know that the odds don't ride with you. Never leave your woman alone with friends around to steal her. She'll be gambled and gone like summer wages. She'll be gambled and gone like summer wages.
awesome. What a great song.
That was an Ian Tyson song, and Ian and Sylvia, he was a Canadian singer-songwriter who he was from out west. He was kind of a Canadian cowboy. Anyway, he passed away a couple of years ago, really, I think. All my favorite singers are dead.
Sounds like a title of another country song.
Right. So I guess I'll do one more for you, okay? Speaking of dead singers, okay. This one has a Canadian connection too. There was a singer-songwriter by the name of Jesse Winchester, who was originally from, I don't know, maybe Mississippi. Where's Biloxi? Is that in Mississippi? But he moved to Canada during the Vietnam War, and recorded several CDs while he was up there. His first CD, he had the band backing him up, basically. He recorded in the Bearsville recording studio. But this is one he wrote. It's a simple little song. It's called The Easy Way. Fairest blossom at my window, honey, you know what they're called. They weren't planted, they just grew there, just appeared upon my wall. Come to think, love, where are you from? You know you just turned up one day when I was trying so hard. I guess love comes the easy way. Oh, you don't need to lift a finger. Love will come the easy way. No, you don't need to lift a finger. Love will come the easy way. Now I'm out and in the street, love, where the rush is pretty strong, and I'll hustle like the others, take my time and it won't be long. Weak of body, strong of spirit, you make me feel like a newborn child. Your heart is calling, I can hear it. A gentle love call, not so wild. You don't need to lift a finger. Love will come the easy way. No, you don't need to lift a finger. Love will come the easy way. Well, you don't need to lift a finger. Love will come the easy way. No, you don't need to lift a finger. Love will come the easy way.
Yeah. That should be.
Great song. Never heard that one before either.
He wrote some great ones.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks.
Thank you.
Steve.
Alrighty. I'm kind of doing some repeats because I said I wasn't prepared.
We love repeats. It's fine.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, and 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out of Kankakee, rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing trains that have no name, freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Dealing cards with the old men in the club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle. Feel the wheels rumbling beneath the floor. Sons of the Pullman porters and the sons of the engineers ride their father's magic carpets made of steel. Mothers with their babes asleep, rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Nighttime on the city of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. But all the townspeople seem to fade into a bad dream, and the steel rails still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his song again. The passengers will please refrain. This train got the disappearing railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
Woo! Hey, Steve.
Hi.
Great song.
All righty. Let's see here. I'll go with this one again. Oop, that's wrong. That's in the wrong place. That's a false start. I knew it didn't sound right for some reason. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm, and I know. And it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day, and I know shining down like water. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard, and I know I've been that way for all my time. Till forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow, and I know it can't stop. I wonder, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Well, that was sloppy.
Oh, that was great, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
That's a great song. I like that song.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
What is that song about?
Oh, it's about the breakup of the band.
Oh, really?
It really is.
Okay.
I watched the documentary, and they were interviewing him, and this was the culmination of the knowing of the band splitting up.
Oh, okay.
I was on a Zoom.
Actually, it's so nostalgic.
And,
It's really
and Mark had mentioned that he thought it was a Vietnam protest song, but
yeah.
but then I heard him talking. I'm having an old man moment. What's his name?
really coming down on a sunny day. I mean, they're stars. They're top
They
of
were
the world.
interviewing what's the leader of the band's name?
Fogerty, John
Fogerty.
Mm-hmm.
They were interviewing him, and they asked him what it was about, and he said, "Well, it was about the band coming to an end."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they had a great run, but I guess they're an example of a band that was really exploited by the music business in the person of the head of Fantasy Records, I think.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, just and the fact
Just
that you
really
listen.
screwed him.
This one the documentary I was watching, centered around a concert they were doing in London. It's some famous theater way back in the beginning of time, and it was kind of the coolest thing because they got up. I mean, he wrote everything, right? I mean, but they got up there in the concert. It was basically what you would outfit yourself with. You had an amp, you had a guitar, a microphone, and it was as simple as that. There wasn't anything else involved.
Right.
And the funny thing is the guitar cord cable that Fogerty was connected with was, those old spiral cables,
Right.
but it was only like 4 or 5 feet long. It was dangling I mean, he couldn't go anywhere. He was tethered
Right.
within 4 or 5 feet. That was it.
Yeah, they were really like the ultimate party band, that you could have them. They could have played in your basement for an awesome party or something.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know his brother was in it.
Yeah.
So his
Wow.
brother was a member too.
Okay.
Anywho,
Anywho, thank you. Nice song. Nice song. Okay.
Well, thanks, Steve. That was awesome. And thanks everybody for another great open mic night live at the ZoomBarDC. That's our show for tonight.
Mhm.
And
thanks, Marie.
Thank you, Marie-Louise.
Good to
next
see you guys.
week
Nice
I'm
to see everybody.
great to
Next
see
week,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. Next
Next
week
week.
I'm going out of town, so skip.
Oh,
But in 2 weeks we'll be back.
Okay.
okay.
See you then.
Thanks for the warning.
Thanks. Good night.
Okay, have a great
Good.
time.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Everybody try
Love
to
you
stay.
guys.
Try to
Thanks,
stay
Joseph.
Be well.
Thanks,
Take good
Steve. Thanks,
care.
Jeremy. Thanks,
Red Bull
Wendell.
Month Show.
Good night. Good night. Have fun. Oh,
Thanks.
yeah. Where are you going?
The beach.
Oh, okay. That sounds lovely. Go to the beach. Have fun. Don't get burned. Okay. I get burned a little. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. When you
Talk to you later. Bye.